one in Mary Camp. The Fakori group is out there. There's about 5 or 6 of them waving, and standing right next to him is a homeless person. And I guess they just didn't share her plan with the homeless person. I guess she has to be elected in order for us to find out what that plan is, because the person who really could have used it was standing right next to him.
Did they offer
I
the
thought
homeless
the
person
irony
a
was
sign?
pretty
Did they offer
good.
the homeless person a sign, put them to work, something?
No, something. I don't know what her plan is. She doesn't really say. She just says she wants to help the homeless.
She wants to. Well, I
that
mean, and
poor
how you want to
homeless
help?
person
You want to help the
didn't
homeless
get any help?
Yeah, but do you want to help the homeless people get back to their loved ones in whatever city they're from? Do you want to help the homeless
I
by
don't know.
finding them good housing? Do you want to help the homeless by
This is
relocating them to a city that better suits them, or do you want to help the homeless by arresting them and make sure they get 3 hots and a cot? I don't know the plan.
Yeah, well, I don't either. But I just can tell you that poor homeless person wasn't being helped by the campaign. Anyway, I thought it was incredibly ironic. I thought it was hilarious. That's the kind of thing that makes me laugh. So.
And here's the thing, and I know everybody does it. I've seen Kent Gwynn supporters waving his signs. I've seen Lori Gregory supporters waving her signs. I've seen Jay Musley's supporters. Is the sign waving really going to sway you one way or the other?
Oh, I think it doesn't hurt, right? I mean, I had people coming door to door to me yesterday because all the candidates were in my neighborhood last night.
Well, you got a powerful voting block. 600. Look, we've heard about your voting block. There's 600 of us that live in this neighborhood, and we'll remember each one of you city council members and how you vote. Oh, I've heard that. You live in a violent, threatening neighborhood.
I have 3 in my house. And I know how all 3 are voting because
because you told them how to. I understand. You run
correct.
You run
they
a Stalin.
don't. I mean,
you're like Stalin 13. You're like Colonel Klink.
That's right. That's right. My wife votes the way I tell her to. Wait, what didn't that come out a couple of years ago or something?
Yeah.
That women who voted for Trump had to, or their husbands would beat them.
Oh yeah. The thumb rule. Yeah, couldn't get a stick bigger than your thumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I was like, I was home, and somebody's knocking on my door. I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, I just want you to vote for Ty Schlechter. I'm like, okay. I'm like, what else do you need? I mean, do you want to come in and talk about it? I wasn't sure. I had literally just gotten in the door. It was almost like they were waiting for me to go inside before they rang my bell.
And it's almost like. See, you're a guy, you're approachable, you're a nice guy, or people assume you're a nice guy. I know better.
There you go. That's probably
people
a better.
assume you're a nice guy. And
I
then,
really don't like people very much.
No. And then there's a guy like me who on numerous occasions when I've lived in town, people have come and knocked on my door. I've had the Saturday morning knockers, the ones that bring you the Watchtower magazine. I've had them knock on my door early in the morning on Saturdays. I cured them from that. I opened the door one time in just a birthday suit. They have quit coming to my house now. They've quit coming to my house now.
Come on in, fellas.
And 2 years ago during city elections, there were people coming around. I was living in a little condominium in town right near the Cascades, and there were people coming around. And I walked out of my porch, and I saw him walking around, and I said very loudly, I hope nobody blankety-blank wants to blankety come to my blankety-plant house. Not a knock happened on my door.
That's odd.
I just set it on the deck, and then I walked back inside with a slam in the door, by the way, so it drew attention. And then nobody bothered me. See, I'm proactive that way. I get out in front of it and make sure nobody comes and bothers me.
Nip it in the bud.
Nip it, nip it, nip it. I do. It's the Barney Fife. It's the Barney Fife attitude. Nip it, nip it, nip it.
There's a lot of intelligence in that statement.
For all of his zaniness, there was a lot of intelligence in what Barney Fife had to say. When
I think of Barney Fife, that's what I think about. I'm like, God,
intelligent. That was so smart.
Genius.
I mean,
Genius.
Who else would think to dress like a hunting mannequin in the five and dime store to catch shoplifters? I mean, who else would do that? Then the fly lands on his nose.
Now we're not even allowed to talk to him or look at him.
No.
How times have changed.
No. You know, I've told the story numerous times, though. Barney Fife got me in trouble one time on the way to St. Patrick's Day. We'll just leave it at that. I had to ask the deputy if I could see his bullet, and he didn't like that.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Didn't really care for it. So this tonight, I'm excited. 6:30 on the airwaves. Galen Unal and the return of the high school football color man guru, or at least that's what I'm calling myself, Tom Schmitz.
Oh, okay.
Tom Schmitz, as we take to the airwaves for Forest Westport. Give us a preview there, Coach.
Ooh, both teams come in 0-2. Both teams are really struggling, and both are just trying to find their identity. They're two of the larger schools in the county, and so they're playing in incredibly difficult districts, and especially Westport's just playing way above their weight, right? So it's going to be interesting. I mean, Westport hasn't scored a touchdown or even a point in the first two games of the season. They even struggled in the Jamboree. There's some real questions on both sides of the ball. Forest has really got to figure out their quarterback situation. Their defense has been pretty porous. On the other side, Westport's defense has been really good. They've just kind of worn out at the end because of all the 3-and-outs. And both teams have been making a lot of mental mistakes. And what's weird is neither one of these teams is particularly young. I mean, Westport's got a really talented freshman class. But when you look at their actual team who's on the field, they're all mostly seniors. And again, both have been really hampered by a ton of transfers. Both teams have lost 4 or 5 guys to Trinity. John Brantley continues to do a pretty solid job recruiting, even though they're struggling because they don't have a quarterback. So we'll see. Well, it'll be a fun game. It'll be an entertaining game just because of the two of us. But let's see what happens tonight. Look, these are two teams that are desperate for a win, and I'm really curious to see what kind of crowd comes out to Forest High School tonight.
You know, I think because of the way both schools have started the season and the way that they both were just decimated by transfers. And let's be honest, that's what happened. They were decimated. Westport had a pretty good football team last year. They lost probably four or five of their best players. That's how this transfer thing happened.
8. They lost their
right.
top. I'd say 8 of the top 10 players left.
See, that's hard to overcome right there.
Oh, heck yeah.
That's hard to overcome.
4 offensive linemen.
Yeah,
I mean, 4 offensive linemen.
What's your starting offensive lineman, which is 4 of the 5.
Mm-hmm.
That means you've lost your entire offensive line.
Absolutely. Correct.
So it's gonna be, but I'm looking forward to being in the back in the press box. You know, here's the thing though: do we have to deal with Paquin? Do we have to deal with him? Is he going to be there? Is he going to be doing?
I don't know.
Is he going to be doing
the? Question.
Is he going to be doing the PA? Because you know,
I actually like him. He's always been good to me.
He always eats my cheeseburger.
You know what though? You know what? I'm going to tell him what you said about MCYFL football.
Oh, he knows what I think about MCYFL football. We've had that argument numerous times. He knows. He knows.
I think he's done I think personally he's done a pretty great job out there with the Falcons. So, and he's been the Falcons coach. I think he still is for decades, it seems.
Yeah, well, and they've been the Falcons for decades, it seems. So, you know.
Oh, the Steelers they had to beat them in the junior championship game 4 years ago now.
Well, so what you're saying is the Falcons, even in MCYFL, lose championship games. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying.
We blew them out. When you look back on my team right now, when I look at the Steelers team, there's 8 Division I football players on one MCYFL football team that you say is no good. Yeah. And we're going to see one of them tonight.
I don't care for it.
A guy I think who's in that top 3 or 4 players in the county is Jeremiah Burt. He's a special talent. Forrest has to figure out how to get him the ball. And on the other side, Westport has to figure out how to stop him.
Well, all that leads to a pretty good game tonight, I think, because it's going to be 2 teams that are hungry for a win. And I'm looking forward to it. I really am looking forward to it. Although, it's going to be hard not to, I don't want to, upstage you as it were, but it's going to be hard for me being the accomplished football guru that I am to really, have to come down to your level. I think it's going to be difficult for me.
I
It's going to be
appreciate
difficult.
that.
It's going to be difficult.
Well, you're the ex-jock they stick in the box thinking that people care about what he says, and I know that. So that's fine. I'll set you up.
Hey,
I will try not to embarrass you with words that you don't understand.
well, then don't get higher than about 5 letters, please. Okay.
I'll be monosyllable. I'll be monosyllable mathematic.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. We got to take a break. We come back more with Galen Unall from Life South, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Are you wasting time boxing up packages and going to the post office or the UPS store? Are you tired of not knowing what you'll pay when you get there? Just Ship offers pickup service and flat rate packaging and postage rates, which takes the guesswork out of shipping while saving you time and money. So quit wasting valuable time and money. Call or text Just Ship at 352-234-3840. That's 352-234-3840. Just Shipped.
Are you or your loved one being released from a hospital and wondering how you'll manage? Inform your physician that you want to go to Palm Garden of Ocala at 2700 Southwest 34th Street for your rehabilitation. Palm Garden provides pain management, post-discharge follow-up, diabetic care, psychosocial support, and so much more. Plus, they even offer outpatient rehab. This award-winning care facility has a team of licensed professionals dedicated to enhancing your independence. Call 352-854-6262 today.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. On a Friday, Galen Unall from Life South, brought to you by the good folks at Palm Garden. We'd like to thank Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, located at 2700 Southwest 34th Street. They offer skilled nursing, physical, occupational, and speech therapy. If you have any questions that you want to ask Palm Garden, give them a call, 352-854-6262. Again, 352-854-6262. Penn Flooring, family-owned and operated, serving Marion County for over 30-plus years. They owe every bit of their success to their unrivaled customer service. They have experience in both the commercial and residential flooring. Go see their showroom at 1201 Southwest 17th Street here in Ocala, or give them a call, 352-351-3420. And, of course, Just Shipped. They've flipped the script on shipping. Instead of you having to package up the item and go stand in line and waste your time, valuable time and money, Just Ship comes and picks your item up for you. They package it up for a small pickup fee and the postage. They do all the standing in line. They ship it out for you. No hassle, no time wasted. JustShip.net for more information. Galen Unall from Life South joins us. Galen, we know that football's back. High school football's back. College football is back. Professional football is back. It looks like the stands are filling up left and right. Even with the COVID variants that you see and everything, is this just the American public saying enough? We're going to go back to normal, whether the federal government tries to stop us or not. We're going back to normal.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. And I think even if you follow the local stats on COVID, you can see we're on the downside.
Dropped by 65% in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and again, this is what's going to happen with this new strain of this flu virus, of this COVID. And by the way, it's not over. We're going to get another one because there are 5 different flu seasons that come through the state, through our section of the world, right? There are going to be more. You just hope they're not as contagious and as deadly as Delta, because Delta was far more deadly than the first one that went through, COVID-19. So, but yeah, to get back to your point, it's back, and it feels good, right? I mean, there are still those among us that probably shouldn't go to football games or go to large crowds, but that's called choice. That's called freedom.
Yes.
And whereas the rest of the population who wants to go, let's go. If you want to go to a concert, go to a concert.
You know what I'm
If you want
tired
to go
of?
to a football game with 100,000 fans, go to a football game.
You know what I'm tired of? Here's what I'm tired of. And maybe it's just me, but the people that go, what's the big deal? Just get the vaccine. If you don't get the vaccine, you're a killer. Get the vaccine for other people. You got the polio vaccine. You got the measles vaccine. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, but those vaccines I got once and never had to get again. You're telling me this is a vaccine I'm going to have to take over and over with boosters and everything because it's a virus, just like the flu. So I'm tired of people that go, I don't know what the big deal is. It's just like polio or the measles. No, it's not. Those are one-time vaccines. This is going to be a recurring vaccine. Am I missing something, or am I right to point out that argument's a little skewed?
Well, it'll be, and so I think they're not going to allow that third booster. Even the only people who are pushing that third booster, if you really look at it, are the actual pharmaceutical companies, Pfizer and Moderna, because they're making billions of dollars off of those shots. But what you are going to see is when you get your flu shot, and I do encourage people, even though I know that Bill Gates is behind it, the flu shot is a good weapon against getting the flu. And again, it's just like the COVID vaccine. If you do get the flu, it's not as bad. So it'll be a part of that cocktail from going forward.
Yeah, and I think that's how you should sell it. To say it's the same, like how, and I don't put much stock into what Howard Stern says, but he has a huge group that listens to him. And he literally said in his radio show, I'm effing done with the people that don't want to get the vaccine. If you don't get the vaccine, go ahead and die. That's how I feel. What is that?
Well, he's an elitist now. He's no longer, what made him great was being a man of the people. He's no longer a man of the people. He's an elitist. And by the way, I think the way they pitched the whole vaccine is the reason that people who aren't vaccinated aren't getting vaccinated. They pitched this that if you get this vaccine, you won't get COVID.
And that's a lie.
That was never the case. It's never the case. It was to help you fight the virus if and when you got it. That's it. But they never sold it that way.
This was supposed to be something that made you not. This was something that's supposed to. The way it was sold, if you get this shot, you will not get the virus, and that's not accurate.
Yeah, no. It was more. They should have. It's more like a shield, right? It's just penetrable, but you're more protected. But they sold it all completely wrong, and it became a political thing. And then they used that political weapon against us. Again, the federal government. I don't know what you expect, but I'll be very curious as to how history looks back 20 years from now and looks at Operation Warp Speed and how quickly we made this virus and what history says, or vaccine, and what history says about it. Because we're never going to find out the truth about where the virus came from. We just aren't. So that will continue to be one of the great conspiracies in the history of the world, because there's nothing that has impacted the world that could have been made by man. It's killed more people than any nuclear bombs.
The conspiracy theorists, the conspiracy theorists now have something that is even bigger conspiracy-wise than the assassination of John F. Kennedy.
Well, it goes bigger than that.
That's what I'm saying.
It goes back to Pearl Harbor, which led to how many American deaths.
Yeah,
right?
and the conspiracy back then was Delano Roosevelt knew it was going to happen and allowed it to happen to pull America into the war that he wanted to be in anyway. And by doing so, he knew that would bring us out of the Depression as well. That's a whole lot of conjecture on why we got into World War II through these theorists.
But there's so much evidence that shows that this was a man-made virus. that it's never going to go away. And the only reason why you're not being inundated with all these theories is because the social media companies have just shut them down, right? If you put out a video and you said on YouTube or whatever, and you say, yeah, COVID was man-made, and you did that a year ago, you were deplatformed. My podcast was completely deplatformed.
Oh, look,
they took us off of Patreon.
We had a show
so
here.
We could no longer save money. Gone.
We had a show here called The American Moms.
They were great.
That 2 weeks into their show, YouTube took them off the air because they had said something about how ivermectin could be used. And so they took them off the air. YouTube said, nope, gone, see it, bye. And now it looks like,
absolutely,
when you're looking at it, look like when you see everything, the pharmaceutical companies don't want you to use it. But there is now broad evidence that it can help you get better quicker. But, 4 months ago, 3 months ago, you were being removed from social platforms for even alluding to the fact that there could be other options besides the vaccination. And that's a problem. That's a big problem.
What we learned from COVID-19 is how not to treat the virus, right? When they were putting people on their backs and instantly put them on a ventilator.
We learned that ventilators kill people. Yeah, we learned that. Yeah.
Absolutely. But again, it all goes back to we didn't allow doctors and nurses to do their job. We did a forced thing and said, this is how you're going to treat it.
Well, a group of 24 doctors.
And I never understood that.
A group of 24 doctors said, here's the best way to treat it, but it went against what the pharmaceutical companies were saying. So they were called as hacks, and their jobs were trying to be taken.
Absolutely.
And they were trying to be ruined.
Sure.
This was 6-8 months, a year ago. Hey, we need to take a break.
Yeah.
We need to take a break. It's just, it's silliness is what it is. It's silliness.
Absolutely.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back after this timeout. You're listening to Ocala Talks on WOCA 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.